Let me ask you something personal. Have you been doing everything right? Eating what you believe is healthy, getting enough protein every day? Yet you still wake up feeling exhausted, bloated, swollen, and uneasy about what your kidneys might be going through right now. Because here's the urgent truth most people never hear until it's too late. Your kidneys can be quietly losing function long before pain lab alarms or a doctor's warning ever appears. And one of the fastest ways this damage accelerates is through the wrong kind of protein eaten in the wrong way day after day, under the false belief that protein is protein. What makes this especially dangerous is that many of my patients were trying to protect their kidneys when the damage was actually speeding up in the background, silently, progressively, and often irreversibly. By the time fatigue, swelling, brain fog, or abnormal labs show up, precious time has already been lost, and that's the moment fear finally sets in. But here's the good news, and it's the reason you need to stay with me until the end of this video. Not all proteins stress your kidneys. Some do the exact opposite. Certain lean protein sources can actively support filtration, reduce toxic burden, and help your kidneys work more efficiently instead of pushing them closer to failure. In the next few minutes, I'll show you exactly which ones those are, how they work inside your body, and the critical mistake that's quietly undoing the benefits for millions of people who think they're eating healthy. Let's start with the protein source that surprises almost everyone when it comes to kidney health: egg whites. Most people hear eggs and immediately worry about cholesterol, phosphorus, or kidney strain. But that assumption is exactly what's been silently sabotaging kidney recovery for millions of people. Egg whites are not just protein, they are one of the cleanest, purest forms of protein your kidneys can process, and the difference they make begins at the cellular level, long before lab results change. I once worked with a middle-aged patient who did everything right on paper. He ate protein, daily avoided junk food, even cut back on red meat, yet he still felt exhausted, bloated, and mentally foggy every afternoon. His kidney markers weren't terrible, but they weren't improving either. The breakthrough didn't come from adding supplements or medications. It came from changing the type of protein, not the amount. When he replaced heavier protein sources with egg whites in the morning and midday meals, his digestion improved within days, his energy stabilized within weeks, and his kidney workload quietly decreased without him feeling deprived. Here's why egg whites work so powerfully for your kidneys. Scientifically speaking, egg whites contain high biological value protein with almost zero fat, extremely low phosphorus, and virtually no sodium 3 factors that kidneys struggle with the most. Research shows that phosphorus from animal protein is absorbed at a much higher rate than phosphorus from egg whites, meaning less waste for your kidneys to filter. One large egg white provides about 3.6 grams of pure protein, but without the metabolic noise that forces kidneys into overdrive. That's why nephrologists often recommend egg whites for patients with declining kidney function. They deliver amino acids without delivering damage. Even more interesting is how egg whites support detoxification indirectly. Protein is required to produce glutathione, one of the body's most powerful natural antioxidants. When protein quality is poor, glutathione production drops, inflammation rises, and toxins linger longer in the bloodstream. Egg whites supply the amino acids needed for glutathione synthesis without increasing oxidative stress. In simple terms, they help your body clean itself without exhausting the kidneys in the process. But the real magic happens when egg whites replace the wrong proteins. Processed meats, fatty cuts, and phosphorus-loaded foods don't just strain the kidneys. They increase inflammation, slow filtration, and worsen fluid retention. Egg whites do the opposite. They digest, quickly reduce nitrogenous waste, and keep blood chemistry more stable throughout the day. That stability is why many people notice less bloating, clearer thinking, and steadier energy after making the switch. Of course, preparation matters. Frying egg whites in salty oils or pairing them with processed foods can undo their benefits. The goal is simplicity: boiled, poached, or lightly cooked, allowing your kidneys to reap the benefits without hidden stressors. When used intentionally, egg whites don't just feed your muscles, they protect your filtration system. But here's the part most people don't realize yet. Protein purity alone isn't the whole story, because even the cleanest protein can become a burden if it triggers inflammation from another hidden source. And that's where the next protein choice becomes even more critical. After understanding why egg whites are so gentle on the kidneys, the next question naturally becomes, What about protein sources that also bring anti-inflammatory power? This is where whitefish quietly outperforms almost everything else, and yet it's one of the most underestimated foods in kidney health. Whitefish like cod, tilapia, halibut, or sole don't look impressive at first glance. They're not trendy, they're not flashy, and they don't come with bold marketing claims. But inside the body, especially inside the kidneys, whitefish behaves very differently from heavier proteins. Instead of creating metabolic stress, it works almost like a protein, with a built-in safety system delivering nourishment while actively reducing inflammation. I remember a patient who loved seafood, but had slowly given it up, fearing protein overload. She replaced fish with plant-based alternatives and processed healthy foods, yet her lab results worsened and swelling became more frequent. When whitefish was reintroduced, not daily, but strategically, something unexpected happened. Her inflammatory markers improved, fluid retention decreased, and her digestion became noticeably lighter. She wasn't eating less protein, she was finally eating protein her kidneys could actually handle. From a scientific perspective, whitefish has one of the best protein to phosphorus ratios available. That matters more than most people realize. High phosphorus intake accelerates kidney damage by increasing vascular calcification and forcing kidneys to work harder. Whitefish provides high-quality protein with lower bioavailable phosphorus, meaning less waste enters the filtration system. Studies also show that fish protein is easier to metabolize than red meat, producing fewer nitrogenous byproducts, the very toxins kidneys are tasked with removing. But there's another layer that makes whitefish unique: its anti-inflammatory profile. Unlike fatty meats, whitefish contains minimal saturated fat, which means it doesn't trigger inflammatory cascades that quietly worsen kidney function over time. Some varieties also provide selenium and vitamin D nutrients linked to immune regulation and reduced oxidative stress. For kidneys under constant pressure, lowering inflammation isn't optional, it's essential. Whitefish also supports stable blood sugar, an often overlooked factor in kidney decline. Rapid glucose spikes damage tiny blood vessels inside the kidneys, accelerating loss of function. Because whitefish digests smoothly and doesn't provoke insulin surges, it helps maintain metabolic calm, which is exactly what struggling kidneys need. Of course, preparation determines whether whitefish becomes medicine or a mistake. Deep frying, heavy sauces, and excessive salt transform a kidney-friendly food into an inflammatory trigger. The goal is gentle cooking, steaming, baking, or light grilling, allowing the protein to nourish without creating additional toxic load. When done right, whitefish doesn't just avoid harm, it actively creates a protective environment for kidney tissue. What makes whitefish so powerful is not just what it contains, but what it avoids. No hidden sodium, no excessive fat, no digestive chaos. It feeds muscles, supports detox pathways, and lowers the inflammatory noise that slowly erodes kidney function. That's why many people report improved energy and less abdominal bloating within weeks of adding it consistently. But here's the truth: most people still miss even anti-inflammatory proteins can become harmful if portion size and cooking style are ignored. And there is one protein source that looks healthy on the surface, yet becomes dangerous when handled incorrectly. After egg whites taught us purity and white fish showed us the power of anti-inflammation, we arrive at a protein that almost everyone thinks they already understand: skinless chicken breast. It's familiar, it's affordable, it's widely labeled as healthy. But here's the uncomfortable truth: chicken breast can either support kidney recovery or silently accelerate kidney damage, depending entirely on how it's used. I've seen this mistake countless times. A patient switches from red meat to chicken, believing they've made a kidney-friendly choice. Portions get bigger, seasonings get heavier, sauces get thicker, and slowly lab results stop improving. Energy drops again. Swelling creeps back. The protein wasn't the problem, the execution was. Scientifically, skinless chicken breast is a high-quality complete protein rich in essential amino acids that support muscle maintenance, immune function, and tissue repair. For people with early to moderate kidney decline, maintaining muscle mass is critical. Muscle loss increases insulin resistance and worsens metabolic stress on the kidneys. Chicken breast helps prevent that when portions are controlled. But here's where nuance matters. Chicken breast contains moderate phosphorus more than egg whites and most white fish. In small intentional servings, kidneys can manage it. In oversized portions, phosphorus accumulation increases, calcium balance is disrupted, and kidney filtration is pushed beyond its comfort zone. Research consistently shows that protein amount matters as much as protein type, especially for kidney health. That's why skinless chicken breast should be a precision tool, not a default filler. There's also a hidden inflammatory trap people don't talk about: enough cooking temperature and additives. High heat grilling, charring, and ultra-processed marinades create advanced glycation end products compounds linked to oxidative stress and kidney tissue damage. When chicken breast is cooked aggressively or drowned in salty sauces, it stops being supportive and starts becoming inflammatory. Gentle cooking, baking, steaming, slow sautéing keeps the protein intact without triggering toxic byproducts. Used correctly, skinless chicken breast offers something unique. It provides satiety without digestive overload, keeping blood sugar stable and preventing the energy crashes that strain adrenal and kidney systems. It also supplies B vitamins that support energy metabolism, reducing fatigue without forcing kidneys into overdrive. This is why many patients report feeling stronger but lighter when chicken breast replaces heavier proteins. Portion control is the defining factor. A serving roughly the size of the palm, not the plate, delivers benefits without excess waste. Pairing it with low potassium vegetables and minimal sodium creates a meal that nourishes without burden. Chicken breast is not meant to dominate the meal. It's meant to anchor it. What makes skinless chicken breast powerful is not that it's perfect, it's that it's adaptable. It can fit into kidney-supportive eating when awareness is high, or quietly undermine progress when habits go unchecked. That duality is why so many people feel confused about protein and kidney health. They're eating clean, but not eating intentionally. And this brings us to the most important realization of all. Kidney health isn't about eliminating protein. It's about choosing proteins that work with your kidneys, not against them. Egg whites reduce waste. White fish calms inflammation. Skinless chicken breast builds strength when handled with care. But knowing the right proteins still isn't enough, because there's one final factor that determines whether these foods heal or harm, and it's something most people completely overlook. If you've made it this far, I want you to know something important. Your kidneys are not beyond help. No matter where you are on your health journey, small intentional choices made consistently can still create real change. You don't need extreme diets, fear-based restrictions, or complicated plans. What your kidneys need most is understanding, patience, and the right kind of support, and that begins with what you choose to put on your plate every day. Remember, kidney health isn't about eliminating protein or living in constant anxiety about food. It's about choosing proteins that work with your body, not against it. Egg whites to reduce waste, white fish to calm inflammation, skinless chicken breast to maintain strength without overload. When you apply these choices thoughtfully, you're not just protecting your kidneys. You're giving your entire body a chance to recover, rebalance, and function more efficiently. If this video helped you see kidney health in a clearer, calmer way, save this video so you can come back to it whenever you need guidance. And if you care about protecting your kidneys long-term, subscribe to this channel. Here we share practical, science-backed medical insights designed to help you make smarter decisions without fear, without confusion, and without overwhelm. Kidney disease often progresses silently, but knowledge changes that. When you understand what your body truly needs, you regain control, one meal, one habit, one informed choice at a time. You deserve to feel stronger, clearer, and more confident about your health. Take care of your kidneys, take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next video where we continue building a healthier future together.